Hello, I'm Dylan Johnson. Along with Amelia Long, Jake McEnany, and Damaris Cano, we are proposing a recommendation to the Climate Resiliency Task Force on equitable workforce infrastructure, specifically on waste management. At the moment, Lincoln's solid waste management program has come up with a plethora of ideas to better the current waste management practices. Lincoln has its own solid waste management plan underway. For starters, organizations can take part in a certain coaching that will help them better distinguish what goes in the landfill and what can be recycled. This requires a duration of up to 18 months, where the consultant and the business will gain a better idea on what to target in their own smaller scale waste management system within the business. Along with this, Lincoln has made improvements on defining legal concepts in waste management in terms of what it means to illegally dump something, whether at a recycling site, construction site, etc. Municipal waste has also seen code changes. You may already know them as the cardboard ban or when to set out lawn clippings and leaves for collection. Currently, Lincoln has 29 public recycling collection sites all around the city where citizens may dispose of any recyclable items such as cardboard, glass, plastics, and others. Landlords are required to provide municipal waste services, but it would be helpful and encouraging for residents if that was expanded to composting or recycling pickup services. At the moment, Lincoln does not have waste diversion goals set, but some things to look for when this actually does come to fruition is to implement the same methodology when it comes to things such as waste audits with businesses, waste management within a business, and maintaining accurate reporting of data that is in the same units. Pounds per capita was what was recommended by Willa DiCostanzo, Lincoln's waste diversion coordinator. DiCostanzo mentioned the importance of having the same methodology and same units because with annual reporting of this information, we will have a better look at how we are progressing as a whole and the who's and what's for areas improvements can be made in. Our project is related to the United Nations Sustainability Goal number 9, Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure. Outside of Lincoln, the waste management industry is seeing a lot of innovation taking place that could give Lincoln some ideas on how to improve our waste management division. Some examples include the country of Sweden, where they managed to convert their non-recyclable waste into energy. According to a 2019 article by Dominic Hinde from the Swedish Institute, the increased threat of climate change has also led Sweden to power everything from buses to apartment heating systems by burning rubbish in low carbon incinerators and using food waste to make climate friendly biogas. Cities here in the States are implementing zero waste plans, some of which require more attention to recycling and composting programs to minimize what gets thrown out as waste. The EPA has documented information on these cities known as zero waste case studies to see how they have tackled the task and any advantages and disadvantages that have come with it. According to the EPA, quote, San Francisco has collected more than 2 million tons of food scraps, yard trimmings, and other compostable materials and turned it into compost that is used by local farmers and wineries in Napa and Sonoma counties. You know who else has farmers? Nebraska does. For the sake of our environment near and far, it is important that we tackle this overflowing problem while it is manageable. Lincoln is a growing city and it is not projected to slow down anytime soon. With our coasts being affected more by climate change, people are going to be seeking refuge inland, which means more people and more trash. New policies have to be set while our population is manageable. Although these things don't happen overnight, with strong policy leadership and open minds, these things can be accomplished, and the reward will be worthwhile for this growing city. Increased waste also increases methane production in the landfill, some of which is captured and repurposed, but not all is. Since methane is a powerful greenhouse gas, as its concentrations increase, so does climate change. When businesses conduct waste audits, they can find new ways to save money and run more efficiently. After a paper manufacturer called Arjow Wiggins Graphic offered their customers printing companies free waste audits, they found some printing companies experienced financial savings of over 40%. Waste audits can also help to judge customer satisfaction and then improve it. An airline completed a waste audit of their in-flight food service and was able to realize there were certain items that 75% of people weren't eating. By removing these items and replacing them with something more popular, they were able to reduce their waste and make their customers happier at the same time. The combination of saving money and improving customer outcomes, as well as appearing more green, means that the knowledge gained from waste audits has the potential to lead business growth overall, which is good for the economy. Small businesses may not have the resources to conduct thorough waste audits that larger businesses may have. They could benefit from receiving waste audits as a service to them. Additionally, it is important that the burden of conducting waste audits isn't given to people who already have too much work to do, especially if these people are minimum wage workers. On the other end of things, if businesses improve their waste efficiency after conducting an audit, this could mean greater efficiency and perhaps ease for waste haulers, for example by reducing the number of pickups at a certain location. Waste audits are the first step in changing waste management practices at the business and municipal levels. It is important that data is collected in the same way each time so that changes can be compared over time. Here are the main stakeholders we've identified in the issue of waste audits for businesses. Because of the economic benefits, small businesses stand to gain a lot from waste audits and may be looking for ways to increase their customer base through positive publicity. They may not be aware of the benefits, however. UNL students tend to be busy and hard to organize, but they are a substantial population, many of whom need community service hours or want to get involved in their community. Large businesses also stand to gain potentially from waste audits, but may be harder to get on board due to complex organization structures and resistance to change. Waste haulers may have low investment in waste audits, but they could be instrumental in coming up with solutions, and any changes implemented would likely affect their work. Lincoln residents probably have low interest in the topic, but as consumers, they do have some power to encourage businesses to undertake waste audits. University or community-sponsored waste audits provide students and community members alike to actively engage in sustainability. The picture above is from the UNL Environmental Studies program actively participating in a waste audit conducted for Lincoln Public Schools. This is an example of how the Lincoln City government can outsource waste audits for businesses in Lincoln while also providing students and community members a perspective of waste disposal. Willing and active participants from both the business and community sides are needed for alternative number one. A city mandate would require large waste generators to conduct waste audits on an annual basis. Information of the waste audit can potentially save the business money by reducing the amount of hauls needed for their waste. It would also provide a way to measure their success in reducing their amount of waste. An example of a city mandate can be seen with the city of San Francisco, a city with the goal of being zero waste by 2020. A uniform metric would be needed for alternative number two. Through our recommendation, we hope to establish a first step for a reasonable waste disposal model for businesses in Nebraska to follow. We hope to foster community engagement through university and social interactions for participating businesses. Our group believes that waste audits can be the starting point for waste diversion goals. We believe that this would be in the best interest of all community members, the common good ethical approach, and would also reflect well on Lincoln being a virtuous city, which is the virtue ethical approach. Finally, our recommendation to the City of Lincoln is to provide a waste audit program for businesses in the city. The goal is to give businesses the opportunity to understand their current waste and reduce it if possible. Businesses apply for the audits through the city, which contracts the work out. This is done to reduce administrative burden on the city. Audits for large businesses will be conducted by a third-party consulting firm due to their professional experience. Small business audits could potentially be conducted by UNL students for research, experience, and community service. Students in ENVR 101 already conduct waste audits at LPS schools. This has an additional benefit of fostering relationships between the university and the city at large. By providing this opportunity for businesses, this can open the door for business engagement in future waste programs. In conclusion, we recommend a city waste audit program for businesses. Over the course of the project, we had to change our topic and recommendation due to scope, research, and attainability considerations. We learned a lot about waste management and city procedures over the course of this project.